For 38 years, Eleanor Voss's husband brought her coffee every morning, not as a gesture, not as something he decided to do once and kept doing because she appreciated it. It was simply part of how the morning worked in their house, the same way the newspaper appeared on the porch and the back door got locked at night. Tom made the coffee. He poured hers first. He set it on her side of the kitchen table before she came downstairs. And by the time she sat down, it was exactly the right temperature. She had never thanked him enough for it. She understood that now. Tom died 14 months ago in November, after a short illness that was still somehow a surprise. Eleanor's daughter Carol had helped with arrangements, with meals, with the particular paralysis of the first few weeks. The house filled with people and then emptied out, the way it does. Eleanor was left with the quiet, which was larger than she had expected it to be. The first morning she came downstairs to an empty table, she stood in the kitchen for a moment before she remembered how to make the coffee herself. She had known how, of course. She had always known how. But her hands did it differently than Tom's had, and the mug sat on the wrong side of the table because she had put it there herself. She got biscuit 8 months later, in July. Carol had suggested it, gently, more than once, and Eleanor had resisted until she stopped resisting. Biscuit was a golden retriever, 3 years old, trained as a therapy dog, and already calm in the particular way that some dogs are calm. Not lazy, just settled. He had belonged to an elderly man who had moved to assisted living and could no longer keep him. He came with a crate he never used and a set of habits that seemed designed to make a person feel less alone. He slept at the foot of her bed. He followed her from room to room at a respectful distance. He was, Eleanor told Carol, very good company for someone who claimed not to want any. The first time it happened was a Tuesday in September. Eleanor came downstairs to find Biscuit standing beside the kitchen table, his nose resting against the handle of her coffee mug, nudging it very gently in her direction. Not insistently, just offering. She stood in the doorway and looked at him for a moment, and he looked back at her with the straightforward expression of a dog who believed he was being helpful. She took the mug. She made the coffee. She sat down. She did not tell anyone. She was not entirely sure what she would have said. It kept happening. Not every morning, maybe 3 or 4 times a week, with no pattern she could identify. Sometimes she would come downstairs to find the mug already nudged to the table's edge, Biscuit sitting nearby in a posture of mild self-satisfaction. She began to understand that he had simply watched her reach for the mug alone each morning and decided, in whatever way dogs decide things, that this was something he could help with. He had not been trained to do it. He had just noticed. She finally told Carol in October on a Sunday phone call, 6 weeks after it started. She described it carefully, the mug, the nose, the look he gave her. And there was a pause on Carol's end. Then Carol laughed, just briefly, the surprised kind. Then Eleanor laughed too. Then neither of them said anything for a moment. Eleanor looked at Biscuit, who was lying in a patch of morning sun by the back door, entirely unconcerned. Tom had known, without being asked, what she needed in the morning. Somehow, so did this dog. She has stopped trying to explain it. Some things don't need an explanation. They just need to be received.